Commander Jake Mitchell walked into the meeting room on Luna Station. His boots made soft sounds on the metal floor. The room was quiet except for the hum of machines. A large blue screen showed Earth floating in space. Next to the planet's image, new words appeared in red letters. Deathworld Class X. Jake stared at the screen. 3 months ago, humans had met aliens for the first time. It was supposed to be the start of something wonderful. Now Earth had a label that made his stomach feel sick. Ambassador Lisa Harper stood near the screen. Her face looked tired. She had been talking to the aliens for weeks. Behind her sat Dr. Alex Turner, Earth's best scientist who studied living things. He kept shaking his head as he read papers on his tablet. "They finished checking our planet," Lisa said. Her voice sounded flat. "The Galactic Council has made their decision." The door opened and 3 aliens walked in. They wore thick suits that covered their whole bodies. The suits had tubes and wires everywhere. The aliens looked like they were going into a poison cloud, not a simple meeting room. The lead alien was Zekthor. He had 4 eyes that blinked one at a time. His voice came through a machine that made it sound strange. "Commander Mitchell," Zekthor said, "we must speak about your world." Jake sat down. The chair felt cold against his back. "What did you find?" "Your planet is the most dangerous world we have ever seen," Zekthor said. His 4 eyes all looked at Jake at once. "We have studied 1,000 worlds with life. None come close to Earth's danger level." Dr. Turner looked up from his tablet. "Dangerous how?" Another alien, Dr. Zilmoth, stepped forward. His suit made hissing sounds as he moved. "Your air kills most life forms in minutes. Your water has creatures that eat flesh. Your plants make poison that stops hearts. Your weather can freeze or burn entire cities in hours. But we live there just fine," Jake said. "That is what scares us," Zekthor replied. The aliens showed pictures on the screen. Jake saw normal things from Earth: a spider, a shark, a thunderstorm, a small mushroom. Each picture had red warning text in alien writing. "This creature," Dr. Zilmoth pointed at the spider picture, "makes poison stronger than our worst weapons, yet human children play near them." "That's just a house spider," Dr. Turner said. "They're mostly harmless." "Harmless?" The alien's translator made angry beeping sounds. "Its bite could kill our strongest warriors." More pictures appeared. Bees, dogs, cats, even a picture of a human baby crawling on grass. Each had danger warnings. "Your young ones," another alien said. "They roll on ground that would burn our skin. They put unknown objects in their mouths. They climb high places and jump down. This behavior suggests death-seeking madness." Jake almost laughed. "That's just kids being kids." "Your species treats deadly activities as games," Zekthor said. "We watched your information networks. Humans jump from aircraft for fun. They dive deep into crushing waters. They climb frozen mountains that would kill trained soldiers. And you call this recreation?" Lisa stepped forward. "We call it living." "We call it insanity," Dr. Zilmoth replied. The alien showed more images. Humans surfing giant waves, rock climbing without ropes, swimming with sharks, racing cars at dangerous speeds. Each image made the aliens move further away from the humans in the room. "Every day your people do things that would be military training exercises on our worlds," Zekthor explained. "Your children play war games. Your adults fight for sport. Your elderly garden with plants that could poison armies." Dr. Turner stood up. "Look, yes, Earth can be dangerous, but it's also beautiful. It made us strong and smart. We learned to work together because we had to." "You learned to survive impossible conditions," Dr. Zilmoth said. "This makes you the most dangerous species we have met." "We're not dangerous to you," Jake said. "Perhaps not by choice," Zekthor replied. "But your very existence proves life can adapt to any threat. If beings like you exist, what other horrors might be out there?" The room became quiet. Jake could hear his own heartbeat. Outside the window, Earth looked peaceful and blue. It was hard to believe the same planet the aliens described. "What does this classification mean for us?" Lisa asked. Trade ships will avoid your system, Zekthor said. Diplomatic missions are cancelled. Tourist visits are forbidden. Your world is too dangerous for civilized beings. You're cutting us off, Jake said. We are protecting the galaxy, Dr. Zilmoth replied. Jake felt anger building in his chest. We survived first contact. We learned your languages. We followed your rules. We tried to be peaceful. And you label us as monsters? Not monsters, Zekthor said quietly. Survivors. And that is somehow worse. The aliens began leaving. Their heavy suits made them move slowly. At the door, Zekthor turned back. Commander Mitchell, he said. Your people lived on a world that should have killed them 1,000,000 times over. Instead, they made it home. They made it beautiful. They raised families and built cities in places where our kind would die in moments. So we are afraid of what else you might be capable of. After the aliens left, the three humans sat in silence. Earth still glowed on the screen, but now those red warning letters seemed to glow brighter. Well, Dr. Turner said finally, that could have gone better. Jake looked at his home planet. Every cloud and continent was familiar. Every ocean and mountain held memories. It was the only world he had ever known. They're afraid of us, he said. Yes, Lisa replied. And I'm starting to think that might be more useful than being liked. Jake frowned. Fear could open doors that friendship never could, but it was a cold and lonely way to travel among the stars. He wondered if humans would ever find their place in a galaxy that saw them as beautiful disasters walking on two legs. The screen went dark, but Jake could still see Earth in his mind. Home. Dangerous, wonderful, impossible home. And now, apparently, the scariest place in the known universe. Captain Ryan Brooks stepped off the transport ship at Kepler Station. The metal walkway felt strange under his feet after months on Earth. Around him, aliens stopped talking and stared. Some moved away quickly. Others whispered behind their hands, or tentacles or whatever they used to communicate. Word about Earth's Deathworld status had spread fast. Too fast. Ryan was a former Navy SEAL. He had fought in wars and survived impossible missions. But walking through an alien space station while everyone looked at him like a monster was something new. His simple uniform and empty hands meant nothing. To them. They saw him and thought of death. A tall alien with blue skin approached him. The creature walked on 6 legs and had arms that bent the wrong way. It wore what looked like armor, but Ryan could see fear in its large black eyes. You are the human military consultant? The alien asked. Its voice came through a translation. Device, Captain Brooks, Ryan said. You must be General Vorthak. The alien stepped back when Ryan held out his hand for a handshake. Yes, I am General Vorthak of the Hegemony Defense Force. We requested your services. Ryan lowered his hand. What do you need to know? Everything, the general said. How does a species survive on a death world? How do you fight? How do you think about war and death? More aliens gathered around them. They kept their distance, but listened carefully. Ryan noticed weapons and recording devices pointed at him. They were studying him like a dangerous animal. Fighting isn't really the hard part, Ryan said. The hard part is staying alive long enough to fight. General Vorthak's translator made confused beeping sounds. We do not understand. Ryan looked. Around the station, everything was clean and safe and perfectly controlled. The air was pure. The temperature was perfect. The lights were soft and comfortable. No wonder these aliens thought Earth was hell. On Earth, everything wants to kill. You, Ryan explained. The weather, the animals, the plants, even tiny things you can't see. So we learned to always be ready. We learned to work together. We learned to never give up. Show us, another alien said. This one was covered in fur and had claws. Show us how Deathworld beings fight. Ryan was taken to a training room. Dozens of aliens watched from behind protective glass. They had medical teams standing by. Some wore full body armor just to observe. This is a basic combat knife, Ryan said, holding up a simple blade. Several aliens gasped and moved further back. On Earth, human children learn to use these safely when they are 8 years old. The translator devices started making error sounds. Some aliens left the room entirely. Ryan demonstrated basic knife techniques: block, parry, strike, defend. Simple moves that any human soldier knew. The aliens watched like he was performing magic. "Your movements," General Vorthak said. "They are so fast, so violent. How do you control such aggression?" "This isn't aggression," Ryan said. "This is just training. Want to see aggression?" Half the remaining aliens ran away when he asked that question. Colonel Kate Stevens arrived the next day. She was leading the first mixed military training program. Her job was to teach alien soldiers how humans fought. The aliens treating her like a bomb that might explode at any moment. "We have prepared special safety protocols," General Vorthak told her. "All participants will wear protective gear. Medical teams are standing by. Emergency evacuation procedures are ready." Kate looked at the elaborate setup. Aliens in thick armor, medics with every kind of healing device, guards with weapons ready, all for a basic training exercise. "What exactly do you think I'm going to do?" she asked. "We do not know," the general admitted. "That is what terrifies us." The training session was unlike anything Kate had experienced. She showed the aliens how to march in formation. They acted like she was teaching them to walk through fire. She demonstrated basic physical fitness. They watched in horror as she did simple push-ups and sit-ups. "Human females are also warriors?" one alien asked. "Some of us," Kate said. "On Earth, anyone can be a warrior if they choose. Even you're young." Kate thought about her nephew playing war games in the backyard. Kids play fighting games all the time. It teaches them to be brave and work together. The aliens exchanged worried looks. Their children played quiet games with safety rules and adult supervision. The idea of young ones practicing combat was unthinkable. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Dr. Nina Clark was working with alien scientists who wanted to study Earth's life forms. They arrived wearing environmental suits that made them look like they were exploring a toxic waste dump. "This is my cat Mittens," Dr. Clark said, holding a small orange tabby. The lead alien scientist, Dr. Zilmoth, jumped backwards. "Keep that predator away from us." "She's not a predator," Dr. Clark laughed. "She's a pet. Watch." Dr. Clark set the cat down. Mittens walked over to a sunny spot and began grooming herself. The aliens watched in fascination and terror. "It is cleaning its killing tools," Dr. Zilmoth whispered. "She's cleaning her fur," Dr. Clark corrected. "Cats are very clean animals." "Your children interact with these creatures?" "All the time. Kids love cats." The aliens spent 3 hours documenting a house cat. By the end, they had classified Mittens as a small-scale apex predator with advanced hunting capabilities and psychological manipulation skills. Dr. Clark didn't have the heart to tell them about dogs. Lieutenant Commander Pete Johnson was having similar experiences aboard the first mixed crew starship. The alien crew members treated the humans like walking disasters. "Your species shows no fear responses," Captain Sektar observed. "When our sensors detected dangerous radiation, you suggested we move closer to investigate." "It was just a little cosmic ray burst," Pete said. "Nothing we couldn't handle. That radiation would have killed my entire crew." "Yeah, but it didn't kill us. So we learned something new." The alien captain stared at Pete for a long moment. "You use mortal danger as a learning opportunity." "Sure. How else do you learn about dangerous things?" Captain Sektar made notes in what Pete assumed was the alien version of a psychiatric evaluation. The reputation was growing. Across the galaxy, humans were becoming known as the beings who treated certain death as minor inconvenience. Military leaders wanted to hire them. Scientists wanted to study them. Everyone else wanted to hide from them. But Ryan noticed something else happening. The aliens weren't just afraid, they were curious. They asked endless questions about human tactics, human thinking, human reactions to danger. "They want to learn how to be like us," he told Kate during one of their conversations. "That's impossible," Kate replied. "They didn't grow up on Earth. They don't have our experiences." "No, but they want our strength. They want to know how we became so hard to kill." Ryan was right. Requests were pouring in from across the galaxy. Military advisors, combat trainers, survival experts. Everyone wanted humans on their team. The problem was, humans were starting to realize that being wanted as weapons was very different from being wanted as friends, and that realization was about to change everything. The emergency alarm rang through the Galactic Council chambers. Admiral Susan Hayes watched the alien leaders panic as the news came in. The Zephyrian merchant ship Peaceful Venture had been captured by pirates. The Void Reapers were the worst, criminals in known space. They had been terrorizing trade routes for 50 years. Their leader, Corvin the Merciless, had never left survivors. Now they had 200 innocent Zephyrian civilians trapped in their base. Admiral Kethera of the Council Defense Force stood at the center of the room. Her blue skin had turned pale with worry. Around her, other alien commanders argued about what to do. "We must follow proper procedures," said General Wexpol of the Northern Alliance. "Form a committee, draft a rescue plan, gather intelligence." "That will take months," Admiral Kethara replied. "The hostages will be dead long before then." "The Maelstrom Nebula is a death trap," another commander added. "No ship has ever returned from there safely. The radiation alone would kill most of our crews." Admiral Hayes stood up. The room became quiet. All eyes turned to the human commander. "My ships can reach the Reaper base in 3 days," she said. "We can extract the hostages in 6 hours." The alien commander stared at her like she had lost her mind. "Admiral Hayes," Admiral Kethara said carefully, "the Maelstrom Nebula has radiation levels 10 times higher than our safety limits. The gravitational fields would crush normal ships. The sensor interference makes navigation impossible." "Good thing we're not normal," Admiral Hayes replied. Commander Tony Martinez stepped forward. He was the leader of Earth's Special Forces. The aliens had heard stories about him. Most of those stories gave them nightmares. "My team has studied the Reaper base," Tony said. "We can get in and out without being detected." "How?" Admiral Kethara asked. "Trade secret," Tony smiled. The alien commanders did not find this funny. Within hours, the human task force was ready. 3 ships, the USS Defiant, the USS Warrior, and the USS Storm. Each had crews trained for the most dangerous missions Earth could imagine. The galaxy watched on news feeds as the human ships entered the Maelstrom Nebula. Alien reporters spoke in hushed voices. Many predicted they would never see the humans again. "The radiation levels are now 15 times normal safety limits," one reporter announced. "Any reasonable crew would have turned back by now." Inside the USS Defiant, Admiral Hayes looked at the readings. The radiation was bad but not worse than a solar storm near Earth. Her crew worked calmly at their stations. "Storm ahead, Admiral," called out Navigation Officer Lisa Park. "How big?" Admiral Hayes asked. "Big enough to hide our approach," Lisa replied with a grin. The alien reporters could not understand what they were seeing. The human ships were not avoiding the nebula's dangers. They were using them. Radiation storms became cover for their advance. Gravitational fields became speed boosters. Areas that would destroy normal ships became hiding places. Commander Martinez and his team prepared for the rescue. They wore simple combat gear that looked like toys compared to alien military equipment. No environmental suits, no radiation shields, no backup life support systems. "Aren't you afraid?" asked Zekthor, who was observing the mission from a safe distance. "Of what?" Martinez asked. "Death, failure, the unknown dangers waiting in that base." Martinez checked his weapons one more time. "Every day on Earth is full of unknown dangers. This is just Tuesday in space." The alien translator could not process that comment. The Reaper base was built inside a dead asteroid. It was surrounded by defense satellites and patrol ships. The pirates had chosen this location because no civilized species would dare approach it. They had not planned for uncivilized species. The human assault team used the asteroid's own gravity to slingshot themselves toward the base. They landed on the surface and began cutting through the outer hull with tools that seemed impossibly simple. Inside the base, Corvin the Merciless received reports that made no sense. "Sir, there are intruders on level 7, his lieutenant reported. "How many ships attacked us?" Corvin demanded. "No ships, sir. They appear to have landed on foot." "That's impossible. Nothing can survive in this nebula without heavy shielding." Sir, they're not wearing any shielding. Corvin looked at the security monitors. 3 humans moved through his base like ghosts. They avoided his guards, disabled his security systems, and freed hostages without firing a single shot. What are they? He whispered. His lieutenant checked the species database. Humans, sir, from the planet Earth. Corvin's blood turned cold. He had heard rumors about the Deathworld survivors, stories so unbelievable that most pirates thought they were myths. Sound the retreat, he ordered. Sir, you heard me. Abandon the base. Abandon everything. Get us out of here now. The human rescue team found the hostages locked in the lower levels. 200 frightened Zephyrians who had been waiting to die. Commander Martinez knelt beside the group leader. We're here to take you home, he said gently. The Zephyrian looked at Martinez with confusion. But the radiation, the gravitational fields. How did you survive the nebula? We're from Earth, Martinez replied. This is actually pretty mild compared to home. The rescue took exactly 6 hours, just as Admiral Hayes had promised. The human ships emerged from the Maelstrom Nebula with all hostages safe and healthy. The pirates had fled, abandoning their base and most of their fleet. The galaxy watched in stunned silence. How is this possible? Admiral Kethara asked when the human fleet returned. Practice, Admiral Hayes replied. News of the rescue spread faster than light. Within days, military contracts began pouring in. Defense ministers from across the galaxy wanted to hire human forces. Requests for human mercenaries filled the communication channels, but not all the attention was positive. Dr. Richard Baker, Earth's diplomatic advisor, studied the intelligence reports with growing concern. Several alien governments were developing plans to contain the human problem. They were no longer afraid of just Earth. They were afraid of humans themselves. We've become too useful, he told the Earth Defense Council. They don't see us as allies anymore. They see us as weapons. Admiral Hayes received a concerning report from her intelligence officers. The Altarian Republic had formally requested that Earth provide biological warfare consultants. Other governments were asking for similar help. They want to learn how to kill like we do, she told Dr. Baker. Not defend, not protect. Kill. The price of being feared was becoming clear. Humanity had gained power and influence across the galaxy, but they had lost something more important, the chance to be seen as people rather than weapons. Commander Martinez stood on the observation deck of the USS Defiant, looking out at the stars. Somewhere out there, entire civilizations were changing, their military strategies because of what humans had done in the Maelstrom Nebula. Was it worth it, he asked himself. The rescued hostages were safe. The pirates were defeated. Justice had been served. But the galaxy now saw humans as professional, killers who happened to walk on 2 legs, and Martinez was beginning to wonder if that was really who they wanted to be. Ambassador Lisa Harper sat in her office on Diplomatic Station Alpha 7. Outside her window, alien ships moved back and forth like nervous insects. Each ship stayed far away from the human section of the station. Some had extra shields. Others carried weapons that they thought humans could not see. The message on her desk made her stomach hurt. It was from the Altarian Republic. They wanted Earth to send experts to help them make better biological weapons. The message was polite and formal, but Lisa could read between the lines. They wanted humans to teach them how to kill more efficiently. They don't see us as people anymore, she told Secretary of State Dan Foster over the communication link. They see us as a weapons catalog. Dan's face on the screen looked tired. It's getting worse here too. Every day we get new requests. Combat training, interrogation techniques, survival methods. They all want pieces of what makes us human. Lisa looked at her appointment schedule. 3 meetings with alien defense ministers, 2 with military contractors, 1 with a species that wanted to hire human soldiers to fight their war for them. Not 1 meeting about trade, culture, or friendship. When did we become mercenaries? She asked. When we proved we were good at it, Dan replied. Down on Earth, Dr. Elena Rodriguez was having her own problems. She had spent 5 years developing agricultural programs to help feed hungry worlds. Now, alien scientists refused to work with her directly. They wanted her research but would not be in the same room with her. They communicate through intermediaries, she explained to the Earth Science Council. They treat me like I might explode if they get too close. The irony was painful. Elena was trying to grow food to save lives, but because she was human, the aliens assumed she was trying to weaponize plants. Dr. Amy Foster was documenting something. Even worse, human children were starting to believe the alien propaganda about themselves. In her clinic, she saw kids who were afraid of their own shadows. They think they're monsters, she told the medical board. 8-year-old children asking me if they're evil because they're from Earth. Her latest patient was a 10-year-old named Bobby Chen. He had stopped playing with toys that looked like Earth animals. He was afraid that loving dangerous creatures made him dangerous too. The alien kids at school won't play with me, Bobby told Dr. Foster. They say I'm scary because I come from the Death Planet. Dr. Foster held back tears. This was not what First Contact was supposed to create. Captain Ryan Brooks was seeing the military side of the problem. He had been training alien forces for 6 months. The training sessions felt less like education and more like weapon testing. They don't want to learn tactics, he reported to General Patricia Hill. They want to learn how to be killers. They study us like we're some kind of murder machine. The breaking point came when General Vorthak asked Ryan to demonstrate interrogation techniques on alien prisoners. We want to see how Deathworld survivors extract information, the general explained. I'm not torturing anyone, Ryan said firmly. But it is your nature, the general insisted. You are bred for violence. Ryan stared at the alien commander. No. We're bred for survival. There's a difference. But the aliens did not see a difference anymore. Intelligence Director Carol Wright brought the worst news to President Linda Hayes. Several alien governments were developing secret plans called Operation Quarantine. The goal was to contain humanity if they ever became a threat. They're building weapons specifically designed to fight humans, Carol explained. Energy types that target our biology, radiation that affects our nervous systems. They're planning for war against us. President Hayes read the intelligence reports with growing alarm. They think we're going to attack them. They think it's inevitable, Carol replied. In their minds, violent species always turn aggressive eventually. They're just preparing for when we show our true nature. The tragedy was that humans were trying to be peaceful. But every act of kindness was seen as manipulation. Every offer of help was viewed as a trap. Every display of competence was treated as a threat. Commander Tony Martinez found this out when he tried to help with a natural disaster on Kepler 442b. A massive earthquake had trapped thousands of aliens underground. Human rescue teams arrived within hours, but instead of gratitude, they found suspicion. Why did you come so quickly? Asked the planetary governor. What do you want in return? We want to help, Martinez replied. Nothing is free from Deathworld survivors, the governor said. What is your real purpose here? Martinez spent more time convincing aliens that he was not a threat than he did saving lives. The rescue succeeded, but the survivors acted like they had been invaded rather than rescued. Dr. Nina Clark experienced the same problem with her research. She had discovered a cure for a disease that was killing thousands of Zephyrians. When she offered to share the cure for free, the aliens became suspicious. Biological warfare, whispered the Zephyrian health minister. They want to weaken us before they attack. It's medicine, Dr. Clark protested. It will save your people. Deathworld survivors do not give gifts, the minister replied. This must be a weapon disguised as healing. The cure sat unused while Zephyrians continued to die. They would rather face a known disease than trust a human solution. Back on Earth, children were growing up in a strange new world. They learned about alien cultures in school, but they also learned that those same aliens feared them. Earth's wildlife, once seen as beautiful and diverse, was now catalogued as a collection of horrors. Teacher Mary Wilson tried to explain this to her class of 12-year-olds. Are we really monsters, Miss Wilson? Asked a student named Tommy Baker. No, Mary replied. We're just different. We come from a world that taught us to be strong. But the aliens think we're scary. Sometimes people fear what they don't understand. But Mary worried that the children were starting to believe the alien version of humanity. They were losing their sense of wonder about their own world. They were becoming ashamed of being human. The psychological damage was spreading to adults, too. Human diplomats began second-guessing themselves. Scientists hesitated to share discoveries. Military officers wondered if they really were just killers in disguise. We're becoming what they think we are, Dr. Foster warned in her report to the Global Health Council. If we start believing we're monsters, we might actually become monsters. The fear worked both ways now. Humans were afraid of being feared. Aliens were afraid of not being afraid enough. The galaxy was caught in a spiral of suspicion that threatened to destroy any chance of real cooperation. But in the darkness of growing mistrust, a small light was beginning to shine. Dr. Foster had noticed something important in her research. While alien adults feared humans, alien children responded differently. The youngest aliens, those who had not yet learned to be afraid, still saw humans as simply another species. They were curious rather than terrified. They asked questions instead of making assumptions. And in that observation, Dr. Foster began to see a possible path forward. Dr. Maria Santos watched 8-year-old Zikara playing with human children in the playground. The small alien girl had 4 arms and purple skin, but she laughed just like any Earth child. She was not afraid of her human playmates. She was having fun. The children don't see monsters, Dr. Santos told the Earth Council over video link. They see friends. For 6 months, Dr. Santos had been running a secret program. She brought young aliens to Earth to play with human children. The alien adults thought it was a research project about human behavior. They did not know their children were simply having fun. This could work, said former Ambassador Lisa Harper. She had been studying Dr. Santos's reports. If we can change how they see us when they're young, maybe we can change the future. The Cultural Bridge Initiative started small. Dr. Santos worked with human families to host alien children for short visits. The Johnson family was first. They had 2 kids, ages 7 and 9. They also had a golden retriever named Max. When Obi, young Pelmoth, arrived from the Centauri system, his parents were terrified. They made him wear a protective suit and carry emergency communication devices. They expected their child to visit a house of horrors. Instead, Pelmoth found a family that was kind and gentle. The human children showed him their toys. They taught him Earth games. They let him pet Max, who turned out to be the friendliest creature Pelmoth had ever met. The death beast is soft, Pelmoth told his parents over the communication link, and it makes happy sounds when I touch it. Stay away from the predator, his mother warned. But it likes me, Pelmoth replied. It brings me its favorite stick, the alien parents did not understand. According to their research, dogs were dangerous pack hunters. But their child was describing a gentle companion who wanted to play fetch. More families joined the program. The Clarks introduced alien children to house cats. The Bakers taught them about earth plants. The Wilsons showed them how human families work together. Each visit challenged everything the alien adults believed about humans. Captain Ryan Brooks found himself working as a guide for these exchanges. It was different from military training. Instead of teaching aliens to fight, he was teaching them to understand. Yes, we come from a dangerous world, he told a group of young aliens visiting a nature preserve. But that danger taught us to care for each other. We learned that life is precious because it can be lost so easily. The young aliens listened with wide eyes as Ryan explained how humans rescued injured animals, how they protected endangered species, how they worked together during natural disasters. You help the weak creatures? Asked Takina, a young Altarian. Of course, Ryan replied. Strong people protect those who need help. This was not what the alien military advisors had told their children about humans. Dr. Elena Rodriguez finally got the cooperation she needed for her agricultural program, not from adult alien scientists, but from their children. Young aliens were fascinated by earth plants and wanted to learn how to grow them. This flower is beautiful, said Wexini. a young hegemony citizen. But your database says it is poisonous. Many beautiful things can be dangerous, Dr. Rodriguez explained. That's why we teach children to be careful, not afraid. The children understood this concept better than their parents. They learned that danger and beauty could exist together. They learned that humans lived with risk, but did not worship death. Commander Tony Martinez found his new role strange but rewarding. Instead of planning military operations, he was teaching alien children about human courage and compassion. When a massive storm hit the research station, the young aliens watched in amazement as human adults worked together to keep everyone safe. There was no panic, no fear, just calm cooperation. "Why are you not afraid?" asked young Zorak. "We are afraid," Martinez replied honestly, "but we don't let fear stop us from doing what needs to be done." The children began to understand that being brave did not mean having no fear. It meant choosing to help others despite being afraid. The program's success was measured not in military contracts or trade agreements, but in something more precious: friendship. Alien children returned home with stories of humans who were kind, funny, and caring. Young Pelmoth told his classmates about playing fetch with Max. Tikena shared pictures of the flowers she had learned to grow. Zorak described watching humans work together during the storm. Their parents listened to these stories with confusion and growing doubt about their own beliefs. Admiral Susan Hayes received an unexpected message from Admiral Cathara. The alien commander wanted to apologize for her government's previous behavior. "Our children have taught us something important," Admiral Cathara said during their video conference. "They have shown us that we were seeing only half the truth about your people." "What do you mean?" Admiral Hayes asked. "We saw that your world made you strong, but we did not see that it also made you compassionate. We focused on your ability to survive, but ignored your desire to help others survive, too." The change was not immediate, but it was real. Trade relationships slowly resumed. Diplomatic missions restarted. Most importantly, the galaxy began to see humans as more than just weapons. Dr. Rodriguez's agricultural program received full alien cooperation, leading to advances that helped feed hungry populations across 3 star systems. Dr. Nina Clark's medical research was finally accepted, saving thousands of lives. Commander Martinez led the first joint human-alien disaster relief team. When an earthquake struck the Proxima colonies, humans and aliens worked side by side to rescue survivors. "Your people confuse us," admitted Captain Sektar as they pulled a family from the rubble. "You are capable of great violence, yet you choose to heal instead." "Violence is a tool," Martinez replied. "We prefer to use better tools when we can." The USS Horizon became the flagship of a new era. Captain Pete Johnson commanded a mixed crew of humans and aliens who explored dangerous regions of space together. The humans provided experience with hostile environments. The aliens provided advanced technology and scientific knowledge. Together, they achieved things neither species could have accomplished alone. The Deathworld classification remained in the galactic databases. Earth was still recognized as one of the most dangerous habitable worlds in known space. But humanity was no longer seen as its victims or its products. They were seen as its gardeners, its teachers, and its ambassadors to a universe full of wonders and dangers. Ambassador Harper, now serving her 4th term as Earth's primary diplomatic representative, often spoke to new human diplomats about the journey. "We thought being feared would make us strong," she told them, "but being understood made us stronger." The galaxy had learned an important lesson. Deathworlds did not just create survivors. They created people who refused to let anyone face danger alone. And in a universe full of unknowns, that was exactly the kind of neighbors everyone needed. Children on both sides continued to play together, learning that differences could be strengths and that friendship was possible even between the most unlikely species. The future looked brighter because the youngest generation had learned to see each other not as monsters or victims, but simply as people sharing the same strange and wonderful universe.